Hello. Hello. Oh man. It's time. It's time to work on this mod some more. Let's get some stuff done. What am I working on? It's been a long day. I have to review my little checklist here. Okay, so we're gonna make staves repairable. I want to go through tier 1 and tier 2 spells to do the cast times, and there was another thing. Crap, there was something else. There was one more thing. I can't remember what it was. Advanced ones, Crucible. Was it a Crucible recipe? Oh, I gotta make ciphers resettable. That's what it is. Okay, so we're gonna start with the wands or the staves first. We're gonna make staves repairable. We're just gonna do a quick build, make sure I didn't screw anything up. Sweet. Oh, I was playing with some math on lunch today. That's right. Let's hop in the game. I kind of want to see if I got this math right. Let's go into this world. Yeah. All right, and today we have orange cream Coca-Cola. This stuff was out like years ago and I loved it, and it's back. So I gotta give it a try again. Ooh. Ooh. Oh man, that's good. Oh boy, that's good. All right, so I just have to check. Okay, repair armor. So it's saying 1. Saying only 1, huh? Only 1. This math is incorrect. Incorrecto. I thought doing the math ceiling repair cost, is the repair cost still, it's 100, right? Oh, I made it 300. Oh, Vice, you poor bastard, you. No wonder why things weren't working right. All right, hold on. Let's just because where I have this here, it's all over. Hold on. Quit. Build. And let's try this again. So I think there's a problem with the current repair system. I think it could have the potential to eat a bunch of items to do your repair. And I have to find a way to find what the maximum is to get it full, and then just take from that. So that's what I'm kind of looking at, right? So I pop this in, put a stack of 32 in. So it says to, oh, you know what? Never mind. 31. Yeah. All right. Never mind. Nah, just kidding. This whole thing I was working on was useless. Whoops, just kidding. Yeah, we'll make it 200 each. And I'm gonna get rid of some of this stuff here. Get rid of that. I don't necessarily need this. And I don't need this. I do need that. Okay, so that should get rid of all the extra print statements and everything. All right, so we're gonna work on the first thing. It was requested to have staves be repairable. With the repairable staves... Oh, I'm missing chat. I didn't realize. Hey, Oder. Vexus. What you making? Orange cream. What? Yeah, look. It's orange cream Coca-Cola. Orange cream. It's actually pretty good. Oh, you know what? Then I like rotten bananas. As I sit here drinking normal Coke like a pleb. Hey Fritz, how's it going? My day is going well. I am a little tired, so I'm probably going to be a little slower with anything that's going to take too much brain power. But yeah, my eyes are tired too. But I don't have to work tonight. That's why I'm streaming. I've been putting in like 16-hour days this week so far. It's been a lot, but you know, I'm getting a lot of stuff done. So I'm rounding the corner here with this update. Vice is back. I'm back, baby. Hopefully I'm not getting sick, because that would suck. You know what? If I'm feeling crummy, it'll bloom just in time for the weekend, which is fantastic. Okay, let's quickly get the repair system in here. I need to go to the item staff, item tool, spellcasting. At the very bottom, we are going to put in this method here, so we can intercept the crafting aspect of it. I need to create a global variable here. Let's see, I don't need that. I want everything to be the same, so I'm doing it the set and get way. I don't have anything for repair cost already, right? Sounds like something future Vice would have done. So we got that down here. I will say this dot repair cost equals. Ooh, how much durability should you get per hit? I'm thinking 50. We'll start off with a 50. God, that's a lot of work. It is. It's been a lot of work. Even ever since Christmas, it's been a lot of work. It's funny because we just pushed a GPO out to change the Chrome, like when you open up Chrome, and there's a splash screen in there, right? You know, it's the whole, like, you know, the Pulse Connect, you know, for the organization. And they have a timer on there for like the Epic converter, the Epic, like when Epic goes live. And I swear to God, they have it down to a second, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, I feel like it's a very aggressive timer to me, because I have a lot of work to do, right? We got a lot to do to get things ready for the Epic release, and just staring at the timer as each second ticks by. Whew, it's like freaking super villain-esque of them to do. It's a threat. Crazy. All right, let's create a JSON for this. Let's create a crafting recipe. So if we go into recipes, here we go, magical grids. I think it's just regular grid is what I want. Yeah, regular grid repair. We are going to copy, we'll copy head. Why not? So I'm going to call this, I guess I should keep it the same, right? Tool spellcasting. That's what the registry name is. And let's open this up. So what do we got to do here? A lot of this can go away. Yes, I think most of this can go away. So I am going to delete everything but one. There we go. And I need this side by side. Bill Bonte, hey, coming in with the tier 1. Thank you so much. Thank you. What was I doing? Oh my God, it's gonna be that kind of day. I am so tired. I'm so tired. I'm doing the staff work right now. That's what it is. So I need to pull up item staff. This is going to be a tool. I need to make sure I get the exact registry name here. Tool spellcasting. So I have a type, a primary color, and a model. Ooh, I think this is going to take a lot to do. Yeah, because I think you can only do wild cards. Like, I can't put in multiple things. I have to think about whatever's going to be the best to get. So, for instance, I did color with the armor. Just because I have so many different colors. Hey, Daz, how's it going? So, I'm going to have to create a statement here that repairs each model, because I can't have a wild card for model and a wild card for colors. Oh my god, I remember putting primary color, because part of me is like, what if I have a secondary color too? Right? You could pick 2 colors and it could decorate your staff. I had to stop myself there. Because it's like I was starting to build it out and I'm like, I'm rabbit holing myself. Who's gonna care? 1 color, you're good. You're set. You want a red staff, it's gonna be a red staff, not a red and green staff. Okay, so I'm going to pop this off over to the side so I can take a look at the code name here. So let's start this. I'm going to build tool spell casting. We will put in apprentice. For the model, I can't do the model there. I'm going to do staff crude. And then this at the end is going to be the wild card. Would it be easier to have all the staffs grouped and have the repairable status affect that group? It's not really... Well, I don't know how to use the groups. Maybe I don't know how to use the groups. Maybe you know something more? My understanding is... Like, I see recipe group here. I thought you needed a different recipe group for something that is a repairable item, right? So I thought that was the classification of what constitutes a repairable item. And then, you know, of course, going down to here, right? Because unless you're talking about a group as in, like, I can break this out to have multiple names and then load from multiple properties. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. Because this is the way I know how to do it, right? It's going to take 1 repair kit. It's going to be like this crude staff for any color. Instead of color... Oh, no. Moving stuff on my stream here. Where's that window? There it is. Here we go. I'm going to put it back. All right. So instead of color, it's actually called primary color. So I would pop out primary color, and the primary color, it's actually a different load from properties. I actually have even more colors available for the staves, right? And then the output is basically going to be this. Instead of the wild card at the end, I can put in primary color, or color primary. And instead of mage armor repair, I can put in like staff repair. So basically, I'm preserving your staff, right? And I'm copying over your attributes and everything, and then pumping it right, you know, just basically upping the durability is what I'm doing. This is like an intercept durability. Is there an equivalent of get held item in VS where you could, in this case, offhand the staff and then use the repair kit in your offhand? There is. Like, I guess there is. You could put the staff in your offhand and use the repair kit that way. But why am I changing something like that when people are familiar with a way to repair kits, right? Like, you get a sewing kit and then you put it in your crafting grid and you pull it out and it repairs, right? You know, it's like, why would I want to change something like that? I'm thinking more extrapolate, not literally, to be honest. This is my first time seeing the code. Is this C++ mostly? Nope, this is C# with JSON hook-ins right now. So we're looking at the JSON part of this, and then this is the C# part of it, right? So I had to come down to here to make this item repairable, right? I mean, I have to come down to here, and I have to override the actual method that would create, right? You know, the item, like when you're crafting. I look for my repair in the recipe name. That's why I have that recipe name right here that says staff repair. So it takes a look at this and it says, oh, this is something that I can actually, that I have to modify. And then in the code, I come down to here and then I just get the snapshots of the durability, you know, update the attribute on the item for durability, set it, and then, you know, refresh. So then it repairs as you put it in the crafting grid. So actually right now, as long as I didn't screw up anything here, this should be done. At least the staff crude should be good to go. So let's give it a try. Let me drink some more of this orange cream soda. My soul is smiling. My soul! Because robes are by color, but staves are by model, and you can't use the same code? No. And it's not, robes are not only by color, they're also by model. Staves are by model and color as well. The problem is, when you are using the JSON, right, for the grid system, you have name, and then you can load from properties, or you can do like get allowed states, and then you can manually put, you know, what that wildcard is, but you can't have two wildcards, right? This system isn't robust enough in the JSON to be like, well, this is name 1, and this is name 2, and this is load properties 1, and this is load properties 2. That way I can just have one recipe that takes in multiple wildcards. So I have to be, I just have to think about what I want to do for a wildcard, like what has more options that I don't want to screw around with, right? So the model, as it sits right now, has significantly less entries than every single color. I think I have like 15, 16 colors to choose from. I have like 8, you know, of these 8 models right now. That could change in the future, right, if I just keep adding more, but that's kind of the numbers I'm looking at here. So that's what we're doing. So right now the crude staff should be good. Let me reload one more time because I totally missed if there were any errors. Let's see. Oh, loaded it.
Are you sure about that?
Ah, Rondus. How's it going, my man? All right, let's beat up a staff. It can't be anything fancy. Let me get myself out of this box. There we go. I forgot it was winter time. Hey, look what it is. Love seeing that little guy just patrolling around. Wanted to eat some biscuits. All right, let's pull up the staff here. It's got to be the basic staff, right? The crude model. So apprentice staff. There, we'll tap our friend. Just knock off some durability, right? There we go. So I should be able to repair this. I have a feeling this guy's going to attack me. Just keep walking, buddy. Keep walking. There we go. We'll go in here. GM1. So now, pop a staff in, pop this in. Look at that. So I could repair it. It looks like you could keep repairing it. I'm not going to save you from yourself because I have a feeling that's going to be more work than it's worth. But Vice, I used every single one. A bug report, Vice, bug report. I ran out of magical repair kits. I burned a whole stack of 32 because you could put your staff in and keep repairing. I didn't even get more max durability, Vice. Can you fix it? Oh, you'll notice some of the stuff too. Like if you look at the localization, I'm doing a lot better with organizing these statistics in there for you. If you look at the armor now, my magic stats and the magic protection kind of pops a little better. We're making improvements as I start to shiver. So I'm curious. I'm kind of curious to see what another wild card would do there. I'm gonna try something. Maybe I just need to experiment a little bit. I'm gonna put this in here, and I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna try something like that. I don't know how the game's gonna read it. If it reads it wrong, then I just have to copy and paste, change a couple things a bunch of times, and we're good to go. Staff's repairable, we can move on. I thought you couldn't have 2 wild cards. I'm testing it, Oats. I'm testing it. It did not error out, but it does not work either. I thought so. So you can't have more than 1 wild card. Aww. Sag. I don't know why I just shut down the game. Oh my god. It was too embarrassing. I could not go on. Yeah, rather it gets funky. Yeah. sounds like VS. It gets funky. I'm really hoping that we get like better monsters. Oh my god, Vice. You shut down the game while someone was watching you. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm a monster, Oats. You don't know this by now? I'm a monster. He shut it down and didn't even say anything. There was no remorse in his eyes. Alright. now that that's over, I'm gonna space this out just a little bit here so it's easier for me to read. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different versions? Holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. Alright, we're gonna have to do it for each one. This is bullshit. This is crap. Alright, so at least it's easy, right? So instead of Staff Crude, it's gonna be Staff Conjurer. Bam. Now the Conjurer staff is repairable. It's amazing, I know. Here we go. Minimize that. We got the Elvish staff. So again, boop. And boop. There we go. That one's repairable. The Clubbed staff. I actually like the Clubbed staff. Oops. Boop. There we go. That one's good to go. We got the Scholar staff. Bam. Bam. All right. Next one, the Druid staff. Another good one. The awesome Vexus doing that. Boom. The Nebula staff. This one is like my favorite, I think. Out of all of them, it's number 1. It's a tight race, but it is number 1. The Reaper staff is up there too, and so is the Druid staff. So is the Wendigo and the Priest staff. Yeah. So like half the staffs I like. Like are my favorite, I should say. I like them all, but they're my favorite. The Reaper staff. Here we go. That is now repairable. Man, this is easy. This is the easiest thing I did all day. Alright, the Crude. That is now repairable. And the final one, the Wendigo. Bam. Bam. Alright. Save. Let's see if I screwed anything up. I know, why you shut it down. Needs more sugar. Needs more cowbell is what it needs. Can you not put the iterations in the array, then pull from the array? It's not really me. I don't want to... Okay, so it is kind of... It's a hybrid custom grid system that I'm using in... Like, I would have that kind of control, I would think, in my crafting table, right? The Atomic Workbench. I don't think you have that in the game. Right? Like, I don't... This is using the game's crafting system. I have no control without injecting my own code into the crafting grid system to expand what JSON stuff it can pull out, right? So this is kind of like... Oh, I'm freezing. It's kind of like at the, you know, at the expense of, you know, I'm at the mercy of the game. Is it the one that curls? Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the Wendigo one? The Wendigo one? No, that was the Wendigo. You know the Wendigo. I didn't get the other skull staff in. I've been kind of trying... You know, I've been trying to figure out how people... Oh, come on, bro. There we go. I've been trying to get these to break. Some people are like, they're planting these, they're growing, and then they just stop growing. I think there is a mod that is erasing the transient system, and I just can't get it to break. I've spent all day yesterday literally letting the game tick through as I work on the other screen, just trying to get something to break, and they've been perfectly happy. Yep, perfectly happy. Hey Vice, can you try something for me? Depends on what it is, because I have a list of things to do. Gotta look at the code name again so I can write this out. Okay. But like I said, I can do something, but it's gonna have to be quick, because I do have some key things that I wanted to get done in this stream. This was one of them, so yay, it's repairable. Oh, the counter to that. The counter is the durability. Because you can repair, durability's going down a bit, right? Let me scroll down. Where's the durability? There it is. So it's 500 now. All right, so I could be convinced here. What should the durability of these three staves be? I'm thinking Archmage 300, Magician 250, Apprentice 200. That's what I'm thinking. Basically, each durability point is a spell that this thing can cast. Unless you're kind of caveman beating something, you know, like meleeing. Of course, you know, each one's gonna cost a durability. Could also be the number of people that I see saying I planted them at a rift and they didn't finish before it closed. So maybe planting a rift bloom in a way at a rift causes issues when the rift goes away. Nope. I've tested that quite a bit. It just it doesn't change the block entity. It just swaps the block with an exchange. That's all. And then it uses the new rates. That's all it does. It just ticks a little faster at that point. It doesn't erase the system. I know that because I use rifts a lot to accelerate the plant growth. Yeah, what happened on our server is the flower got a snow layer on them, and that broke it. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I've been exclusively doing this stuff in winter, but someone had just posted, someone posted with a screenshot that same thing happened in, like, spring, summer, where there was no snow. I think it was summer, right? It was summer. So that kind of threw it out, because I'm like, well, is it the fact that these things get a snow layer and all of a sudden, you know, they have a heart attack, but these got snow layers and they were just fine. These, now what happens is, like, you can accumulate the snow layer and, you know, over time, and then when it transitions, it doesn't remember a snow layer, it just does the regular, right? Like, it doesn't preserve your snow layers, so when they, you know, when they tick, which these did tick recently, you lose the snow. But I don't see that as a problem. It's weird. It's really weird. I'm trying to. I think I have to go dumpster diving with mods. I gotta look to see what mod list, like who's having the problem. I need the mod list, the exact, you know, like what versions of what you're using. Maybe if the person is nice and awesome, they can just like zip their folder, right, their mods folder, so I don't have to go trundling through like 45 different mods, getting exact versions and downloading each one and doing it, right? Just put it all in. That's a weird transition to night. Let's make it daytime. There we go. Maybe. Yeah, it's a weird thing. All right, let me look at the list, right? So that's repairable. Right, we just lowered the durability. Boop. Right, save. We'll fireball it in. Let me have a nice drink. Orange cream, Coca-Cola. Oh. It's good. It is good. It is good. Yes. I was going to critique it, but I don't think there's really much critiquing to do. Oh, a little snapshot here. So, here, let me. So there's going to be a new crystal system. Let's just kind of remove some of this snow here. And we're going to open a rift. Let's get some stone, loose stone. Doesn't matter what type. Come on. There we go. I guess that's it. I'm going to open a bunch of rifts. That way it ticks away. So now you can see here, stones will convert again. We have unstable rust crystals. They do not convert as fast as rift blooms do. It will take a little more time to actually do this. It's a little more rare. But it's the same kind of deal. You break them, you have a chance of getting the crystal, you know, just like a regular rust crystal. And then what you can do with those rust crystals... There we go. Because you want an elemental crystal because you want to summon a boss, right, or something. You could pop it here, right? Pop it within the barrier here of like a devouring void or whatever. If it has enough essence in it and it's complete and it's like running, these things will eventually wake up. There we go. And then you'll see now it starts to glow. It's collecting charge. Oh, that's the new devouring void, by the way. I'm getting a little better with shaders. So that's what it looks like now. And a little bigger too. But this crystal will eventually tick enough and it will turn into, well, one of three, right? So if it's a devouring void, it could be an arcane, a wind, or a frost crystal. Right? It's going to do it at random, but over time, this ticks enough. And it costs like, the small ones cost like 5 essence, right? Something minor. Same thing over here, right? You can have the water or the earth because it's neutral. And then, of course, light is your nature, lightning, and fire. But yeah, that's the way to get these crystals if you want to farm them. That also means... the recipe that I added, there we go, the barrel recipe, you can actually create small rust crystals because people are like, I have a bunch of rusty dust, what can I do with them? Well, if you have rusty dust, put it in a barrel with salt water and you can passively, it takes days, right? But you can passively use seawater plus the rusty dust to dissolve in it to get yourself some small rust crystals. So another passive way of doing things. So that. All right. Let me double check to make sure nothing's having a heart attack with the equipment. 200, 250, 300, and they are now repairable. Perfect. Attack tier 4. What was past vice thinking? Yeah, the eye! Speaking of which, have you worked on the fire breath shader for our Durgans by chance? No, I have not. I'm getting better at shader code. It's a little more complex than I originally thought, but it's not too bad. I think I'm understanding it. What I need to do is have this update go out. This has a bunch of fixes, a bunch of TLC in it, and then at that point, I have my debug block. It is set up in the back end to be just a shader, kind of something that I can just pop a shader onto, and then I can actually start messing with shaders and seeing what I can make, which is going to be pretty fun. Do some swizzling. All right, what else was I going to work on? Let me look at the list. I am getting distracted, and I got less than 30 minutes. No! Go through tier 1 and tier 2 attack spells. Lower the cast times a bit. All right, begrudgingly, I shall do that. Let's see here. You know what I could do? I think it was Asterbrook that said it. I could be wrong because time is an illusion and the day is blurred for me. The problem with the wands, right? Like the wands, it was suggested to try and go the opposite way of like a fast cast time with lower damage, to make it to where like they feel better. Would people agree with that on the whole? Should I be tuning those spells for the wand to be like, yeah, you know what? It's like a 3 or 4 second cast time, right? Something quick. But instead of doing, you know, but the damage isn't going to be as high, right? Something like that. I'd love to see that. Pretty interested in seeing how shaders and all that works. Awesome, because Vexus, I will be streaming, fumbling and all, right? I'll read up first, and I'll try and get my foundation. But yeah, it's going to be either a stream or I hop into Discord and do a screen share. Just like I did when I created like the portal spell, you know, shaders and stuff. See me fumble all the time. I think wands are comparable to staff tier 1 spells that take much more effort. A lot of people have been complaining that like it's too slow. And it's by design, right? Like if you are, so I have failed, right? Because if you are using a wand over tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 spells, then I have failed on the balance, and I accept that. The awesome part is I don't have to go through a committee to change it. So we can change it pretty fast. So on the whole then, wand spells, do they feel good? Do I need to be looking at all of those basic spells to see if anything needs to be bumped up? And I will leave this open floor. I'm tired. I can be convinced into things, depending on what it is. I can be convinced. We have like 5 or 6 people playing with them every day now. Oh, with the wands. The concept was to make it slightly slower and slightly stronger than the bow that everyone keeps comparing it to, then add your accessory to bring it back to power cast for those who want it. Can you show me the repairable item code that you had copy and pasted 9 times earlier? Yeah, sure. There you go. I'll give you one thing here. I'll give you a couple minutes here to pop a screenshot of it if you want. What was it, Asterbrook? Was it really to make it slower? People were already complaining about like wands being too slow. And the other thing too is that people are like, oh, the projectile, like even the fast one, is too slow and it needs to be faster. And I'm like, you realize, like, I understand everyone's comparing it to a bow. They need to stop, you know? Like, it's not the damn bow. Like, it's not the bow. People think that the Rust Mage is supposed to be like a DPS attacker. It was never supposed to be, right? Like, it was supposed to be an augmenter to the bow, you know, someone wearing full plate that wants to put a sword and shield in their hand, you know, things like that, right? But I caved and I made some strong spells, which didn't make people happy anyways, because they're like, they're all, you know, projectiles. It's like, well, yeah, because they're like the easiest thing to do, right? You're not mad that your spear and your bow, that, you know, those are projectiles too. Why are you judging magic so hard? Like, it's hard to do this stuff. I gotta code that stuff in, you know, if you want it to bounce or something. You know? But yeah, I'm just trying to make it feel good. That's why against turning everything in for range DPS. Yeah. Now not tier 2 or tier 3 by any means, but wand spells are very good once you get used to them. Yeah, like once you get used to the projectile speed, that's what I was going on to. Yeah, people are comparing it to the bow, and it's like, okay, the bow is just this little arrow, you see it for a split second and it's gone. Like, you know how much work I put into the shaders for your spells to look the way they do? Not knowing anything, the night's wasted. You know what I mean? Like, if the projectile moves too fast, you would see the flash for a split second and then it collides, right? So I have to slow things down enough to where you see the fact that you are a mage doing pretty and powerful stuff, right? But you know, like it and yeah, the wands are a little slower, but that's the incentive. I don't want you using wands over the more powerful work, so yeah, it's gonna be slower, you know. That was the point of it. Now I'm open for, you know, debate. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying there, Rondus. You are thinking I could do something like this. I thought I tried that. I thought it didn't work. I'll give it a try right now. Thought I tried that. But you know what? I may not have. I'm too tired to really fully remember what past Vice has done. It's been a long 3 days. Nope. Wait. Contains ingredients that cannot be resolved. Yeah, so doing the partial wild card did not do the trick. We'll just I'll just undo what I did there. There we go. Yeah, it broke. It's gonna be the new spell. It's called Takedown Server. Server restart. That's what it is. The new server restart spell. I appreciate you looking into it though. I've tried to like wiggle with it here and there, seeing what I could do, and I think it's the wildcard functionality was kinda, I think it was just basic from what I saw. I'm usually in .NET Spy a lot. probably a lot. I think it's twofold with the wands. People are hard focusing on magic attack with the point of the mod, and the same people weren't here when you had to make the Spellforge Scroll, Sanctum, Staff, Oculus, Obelisk, the Grimoire, yeah. The world magic too, the ritual magic, yeah. And then you had an attack spell. They don't understand wands were a solution to a problem. That's very true. That is very true. The big problem is everyone has an interpretation of what magic is. And, you know, and it's good to have ideas, but, you know, if I do something, it's usually for a reason, right? Like, I'm trying to sculpt something here. And, you know, it's also like I've seen like, oh, you know, Rust isn't I don't interpret it as primordial magic in lore. And I'm like, no, you should. Because I wrote it clearly. That's what Rust is. It's primordial magic, you know, like no, you'd be wrong there. Your interpretation was incorrect. But and I think a lot of people are judging magic as well, and they're still tier 1. You know, they haven't, they're using wands as if it's like end game stuff, and they're like, oh, this doesn't feel as good as a bow. It's like, well, You know, level up a little bit, you know? Like, let's become a tier 2 mage, make some tier 2 grimoires, see how that feels, get some of the awesome benefits from the armor, the spell haste for your staff, you know? Like, start duplicating some spells, get the run speed spell, you know, get swiftness, you know, get soaring leap, start putting these buffs on yourself, and then tell me how awesome a mage is. That's really what it is. It's not for DPS. It's like you're in a group of people and you're exploring something and you start casting all the buffs to, like, you know, get rid of the armor weight, you know, issue, like, you know, to make it to where if you're wearing plate you get slowed down, right? Give them strength and give them intellect, right? Give, you know, oh yeah, you got that guy with the bow, why don't you put rapid shot on him as a buff and see how awesome that bower becomes, you know? Yeah, let's put temperance on people to increase your maximum health, you know? Let's put spike shield on, and let's put barrier on, and, you know, there's a lot. There's a lot. It's not really keyed for DPS. So what are we thinking? What are we thinking? The wands. Are the wands good? Are the wand spells, do the wand spells feel like a good entry into Magic? A nice, quick, right? Like, just a spritz of mana here, some cast time there. You can move, sprint, jump while casting, right? How does that feel? How does it feel? And while I ask that question, let's open up a spell to take a look at. Doesn't matter. Cold Snap, Ice Spell. Costs 3 mana, 3-second cast time, and it does 4 points of damage. The range is 12 blocks. It's like, yeah, so a bow would be superior to that, right? Would be superior to that, but 3 mana, a 3-second cast time that you can do while running, sprinting, you know what I mean? Doing 4 points of damage per hit. Does that feel good? Let me create a gateway to make it more efficient and long range. Oh, hold on, I'm missing some stuff. Personally, being one of those new people, is that the wands immediately became the only way I plan to deal damage. I have tier 1 spells now, and those to declutter my inventory of wands. But I do feel that I was doing better in close combat with wands because of their cast speed as it is right now. That's fair. That's fair. And that's also why I wanted to go through these spells. Like, for instance, Fireball. Where are you? Right there. Right? I could do all this from... Yeah, so Fireball. Yeah, cast time of 8 seconds... I think I remember throwing that in as like an arbitrary thing, hoping that people would give me feedback. I'm happy that we're talking about spell balance. Like, I'm happy about it because I didn't do any testing. I just threw numbers in, you know. So what if Fireball was a 4-second cast time here? All right. What if Fireball 1 was 4 seconds? Let me just. Let's do this here, right? Fireball 1, 4 seconds. Fireball 2. So that's also 8 seconds. Why don't I make that 6 seconds? Fireball 3, hopefully it's 8. Come on, Passive Ice. It's 10 seconds. What if I make it 8? Would something like that feel better? Let me create a gateway and then make it more efficient and long range. How good is your bow at traveling? Yeah, 1.5k blocks in an instant. I'm a buff mage in a DPS swordsman archer shrug. Right? I'm god mode, right? My feet do not touch the ground. Magic keeps me fed. But I mean, so Bill, I'm going to turn to you on this. How does that kind of feel then for cast times? Right? So your tier 1, where's tier 1 Fireball? Right? So a 4-second cast time doing 6 points of damage, costing 16 mana. That actually is the base value. If you have the armor on, that you should. Yeah, so you would have minus 5% there. Yeah, minus 5%, 2%. I think it's like minus 10%, right? So really it becomes like, what, 14 mana points, right? 14 mana points, 4-second cast time, and it does 6 points of damage per cast. What do you think about that? Can I offer you a nice egg in these trying times? Yeah, it would be pretty nice and feel pretty powerful. Okay. And this isn't just going to be for Fireball. Like, Rust Orb's a weird one. I'll look at that next, right? But all of the attack spells, I can change all of these to make them 4, right? Do it right now. Again, I think I've said this before, right? I'll do it right now. Reminds me of that Office episode with the guy, oh god, the one that plays like Buddy the elf guy, Will Ferrell, right? When he was in there for a little bit and he's like, you know, benefits packages, they're gonna be better, deal with it, you know, Casual Friday's back, that's right. A question about playstyle, balance, intent. What if you split the class? What if you had an Acolyte of the Rust Warlock with cast time reductions and attack spells, a Rust Scholar Wizard who had mana cost reductions on buffs, stuff like that? Or you're talking, yeah, you're talking about different classes. Let's leave this world and let me bring you into my creative space, because I had thought about this. First of all, you think you got problems now with like trade acquire and stuff? Let me add more classes in there and we'll see how jumbled things get when you have combat overhaul and trade acquire and... Oh, that's right, I redid the textures on those. Yeah. Let's go over here. So I had Warlock in mind for this, Wizard in line for this. Oh, and I was gonna do Sorcerer for this. I think I put I was starting to type out Sorcerer, and I'm like Sork, and I'm like, I was happy with the Warlock. The Wizard was okay, and I'm like, I didn't really feel the Sorcerer name. Yeah. And the thing is, I'm actually on board, Aster. I'm on board for people like making a couple more classes. I would like to kind of have a class for each one of these, right? So if you want to, but that's the thing, right? Like, what is a Warlock? Spell haste is valuable to everyone who casts spells, right? Each one of these branches has buffs. Swiftness is wind attribute, which is in darkness, right? So the run speed buff is here, right? So it's like I hit a wall because I wanted to make classes based on your attunement, because really this was like elemental attunement. But yeah, I'd have to think about that a little more. So, but I'm open to it, right? If a system sounds like it could be like decent, I mean, we can go into our alpha chat and maybe I can pop up a poll, or maybe someone else can, right? Like, hey, what does this look like? You know, like, should we have more classes? Is the Rust Mage class something that people would even want? Because we can go the other way. Maybe I don't have a Rust Mage class, and some of these traits, things like the meditation, hunger rate, walk speed, the cast speed, right? I could refund people the cast speed, right? And I can make it to where whatever, like maybe it's an external attunement where you do more than just put on equipment. You know, I think I'm just blurring the lines between what attunement is and what a class is, you know? Yeah, Kirkalope, yeah. That's actually, you make a pretty good point. Yeah, keep the Rust Mage in because Rust Mage classes are the only ones that can learn. Does that actually work? Crickalope, does that actually right? It works, right? I didn't fully test it. I looked at it and I'm like, if I could stop magic here, here, and here to lock it into Rust Mage. And that's what I did. And I took a look at the code and I'm like, you know what? Seems like it'd work. Then I Tarzan swung to the next idea. I don't have CONTA, yeah. Combat Overhaul's been fucking abysmal. Like, I'm sorry for cursing, but that alone, that mod, like, almost killed my enthusiasm for modding. Because it's just so egregious, and so many people like it. They're, oh, it's such a good mod. I'm like, it's bullshit. I hate that mod. You know, but looking at it, I'm like, begrudgingly, I'm like, the icons look cool, I guess. You know, I feel like the Grinch trying to admit that Christmas isn't a bunch of bull crap, you know, before his heart grows, like, I suppose that garland's okay. It's just like, it's just caused me so much grief. So much grief. Going back to attack spells, doing 4 seconds might even be too fast. 5 seconds for tier 1 might be more balanced if you don't intend to make magic a primary damage source. But that's a design decision. Like, I mean, eventually, see, the thing that holds me back from making more attack spells and more spells in general that do things is the shader aspect of it. Right? Like, I would like to have an attack spell where it's a channeling based thing, but as you are channeling it, you are shooting a ray out, and whatever you are targeting, right, while the ray is going on, it will do damage to. Pass-through damage, right? Like, I would like to do stuff like that, but you need the shaders to make it a spell, because, like, the logic's one side, but I need to do something with math, right, where you see, like, your point A is you in a certain place, opening up the shader to whatever your destination is, you know, is your destination an entity that's moving, right? You need 2 block positions, and then you need the knowledge of shaders to actually make that thing look like a fire ray or a frost ray. You know what I mean? That's the big thing holding me back. That's the second question I ask. First question I ask when I make a spell is, what's the spell gonna do? Like, is it worth my time, right? Does it sound good? Second thing is, how am I gonna make this thing look? You know, people are like, chain lightning. How do you do the shader for a spell like chain lightning? You know, like, I can't just stand up and pull this stuff out, you know? Like, it takes a lot of effort. Like this right here, this took me a night to do. They have the rotation and the swirl, and, you know, the little like light, the little rapid, you know what I mean? Like the way things are, you know, oscillating. And then you got to do the particles on top of it and make sure that they are the right color, right? That they're going to glow if they need to glow, what their time is, you know, their velocity vectors, you know, make it feel random. You know, it's all that for you know, Peepo Fireball spell. Like, it's... so you think 5 seconds, Bill Bonte? 5 seconds for Fireball? Because, I mean, it was 8 seconds before, right? So, yeah, that feels bad. If you think 5 seconds, I could do 5 seconds. But you know what? Think of this, Bill. So your wand does 4 points of damage, Fireball, right? Let's take a quick look just to keep me honest with this. Oh, crap. And I got like 10 minutes left, and then I gotta like literally action roll out of here. 10 minutes. There are my stabs, right? So Fireball, oh wait, it's not 6 damage. I have modifiers on, hold on. So let me take the destruction bangle off. All right, are we back down? Okay, 4 points of damage, right? For 3 seconds. Would doing an extra 2 points of damage equate to 2 more seconds? You know, if I'm using this as like my scale, right? And it only costs 3 mana to do this too. The other one's like 14 mana. So it's like either I up the damage, but I can't, right? Damage is the one thing I can't really change too much because this game, what you have to defend yourself with, right? Wolves, what, 16, 18 points of damage? You know, they're vicious because they just run after you and attack you, right? Drifters, you're mostly seeing, you know, anything from surface drifters, which I think have, what, 12 hit points, to, you know, like the tainted and the corrupt, which I think is, you know, what, the corrupt is like 22 hit points. You know, like bears, you see them every once in a while. They have a ridiculous amount, but you know, like the shivers and stuff, like everything has about the same attack tier and the same, you know, the same range of hit points. So I gotta be careful not to make it to where, oh yeah, tier 2 spell overkills, you know, 2/3 of everything there. Your tier 3 spell can one-shot literally everything in the game when you got all the buffs on. Like, and anything in the base game, dead, one hit. One well-placed sniper shot from 25 blocks away. Guess it does, but to be honest, I don't think I ever tried unlocking magic not being a rust mage while having that option in. I could tell you this much: it works. It works for other people to unlock. That was the key point, is like, can you even unlock magic? It was super easy to do. Like, if you're a Rust Mage class, yes you can. If not, no you can't. Had a bunch of stuff typed out, but I think you're right. Actually, fair point. Oh, you're talking about for the seconds then, right? Making it 4 seconds? New thought: instead of multiple classes, what if you made something that a mage can use crystalline memories for in a recipe? Upon consuming it, they get a dialogue option choosing trait that applies a reduction in cast times or mana. TA says trades can be made exclusive with, and Trade Acquirer says not to apply multiple exclusive traits, so it's not on you if they do. Oh, okay, good. Then you get a little lore moment where you choose your reason for learning magic. That sounds interesting. That sounds like something with like me having idle hands would start working on. That sounds like we already have boss monsters in, and you know, the minion system's looking pretty good. You know, maybe I'm working on the mounting. You know, I'm just trying to iron out the bed sheets for now. That's all I'm trying to do. You know, what if I make this? Let me just finish the thought here, because I got like 5 minutes until I have to raid and run. Aster, though, put that in our alpha chat. Because when I get back, I can read all the chat. I may live stream again tonight, like in a couple hours. I'm not sure, but they'll give me something to read a little later when I get back on. So the cast time is 4 seconds, 2 mana cost does 3 damage, right? So that's 4 seconds. So Fireball would be 4 seconds, which means Rust Orb would be, what, like 3.5 seconds? To do a little additional damage? You know what? Looks good. Yeah, thumbs up. All right, next thing, right? So all the basic attack spells will now have a 4-second cast time. What does tier 2 magic look like, attack spell wise? So it's 8 seconds now. Would 6 seconds be more palatable for tier 2? Or does 8 seconds still work for tier 2? And I can always come back to this too. Like, it doesn't have to, if people aren't sure, right? And like, well, we got to see what tier 1 feels like now. I'm cool with that, because literally I could come in here anytime and change these numbers and my constants, and it's going to change all the registered spells, right, when you load up the update. So I'm going to let that kind of float out there, because I'm thinking 8 seconds, right? So 8 seconds, but you should be using the Magician's Staff, which gives you 25% haste. Right? That should give you 25% haste, so that becomes a 6-second spell if you are using the correct equipment, right? Same thing with like Fireball 3. You know, if I make it 8 seconds here, that's why I made it 10 seconds. That's why I made it 10, because you have 50% haste if you're a Rust Mage. If not, it's 45%. It'd take a second off or two, right? But basically it turns that cast time from 10 seconds to 5 seconds for that explosive fireball. Yeah, spell haste. Personally, we have 0 people at tier 2 spells, so I don't know. I'm thinking 8 is fine if you're fully geared. Yeah, because that I wanted to have people, like, if you are a mage, I don't want you wearing plate. It's too easy to break things, right? With the spells you have on, you can make you could do crazy melee damage, right? Like, you know, the penalties of having plate armor start to melt away when you have your run speed, you know, negated, and you know what I mean? Like, you heal yourself, and you could just take, you know, hits like a true tank, and, you know, be hard to kill. Pop strengthen on, you become a wrecking ball and just kind of clobber things with a sword, right? Like, I'm trying to, like, for a mage, the whole point is you need to have the mage armor on appropriate to where you are, right? If you're tier 2, you need magician stuff. It's going to be the thing you want to sprint for. It gives you a bunch of bonuses, reduces spell cost across the board. You know, like that fireball spell, 64 mana. Well, yeah, that's Archmage. It sounds like a lot, but if you have Archmage gear on, it's instead of 64 mana, it's 32 mana per hit. And I artificially increased your mana by like 300 points as well, on top of what you've already earned, right? So that reduces the cost footprint as well. Now you have spell haste for your staff on, so 10 seconds became 5-second cast time. And you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, if a mage is actually wanting to be a mage and follows these steps, you are literally doing, like, right, I did the math in chat today. You know, with the attunement in your favor, the intellect 3 buff, shooting fireball, and I didn't even factor in the Codex of Destruction and any other attributes you can get from armor. Right? I'm not even factoring those in, and you could do like 67.5 damage per hit. Like, per hit, just boom. I cast Fireball on a Water Elemental boss, 67.5 points of damage. You can't tell me that your bow is better than that. You know, like, come on. That's why my eye rolls when it's like, but the bow. I'm like, all right, newbie, what are you, tier 1? You still shooting with staves? Or you're not even shooting with staffs yet? You're still using wands? I'd be happy to continue more majory stuff once I can convince the host to actually boot up the server. Gotcha. I think the big challenge I have to face now, right, is besides what I just did, it's to find a way to speed up like that resource generation, right, to get you into tier 2, to get the grimoires in your hand a little faster, unless I do the rewrite I was talking about, like the reorganization. Right? It is much easier to land a shot with the bow because projectile speed and range. That's true. It is easier, but it's not impossible. Like, how much damage can you do with like the best bow? Because honestly, I don't know. So that's what, the recurved, so 4 piercing damage plus probably the arrow, right? Is that how it works? I don't use a bow and arrow because you can kill everything with stone spears in this game and it's okay. So I assume the steel arrow here is the best. So that's 6.5 damage per hit. Oh, but it's piercing, so that could be reduced if something is resistant to piercing damage, right? So 6.5 damage per shot. That's a steel arrow, too. I don't think people are walking... Look at... Oh, meteoric iron. That's pretty good. I mean, what arrows do people normally have, right? I mean, if we're comparing, it would be bronze arrows. So you would be doing 5 points of damage. With the 12% chance of not getting your arrow back. Right? So weigh it against... Oh, copper. Yeah, that's right. Oh, copper. There is no damage modifier, right? Because technically wands are kind of Stone Age copper tier. So it would just be 4 points of damage per hit. Some flint. Flint. Oh, negative 0.5 piercing damage. So you're doing 3.5 damage if you use flint arrows. Damn. The crude arrow. Look at that. 3.25 damage. Yeah, so that right there, right? Flint arrows. That's 3.5 damage. Your one cast of the wand spell does 4 points of damage. Oh, and that was with the better bow. You would have the simple bow, so that would be 3.25 damage to start. Right? So 3.25. What was the arrow again? Flint arrow, so you would be doing 2.75 damage. You could probably lob a lot of these off, but... Yeah, sometimes flint depends on if we have the arrow mold mod. Oh, I got you. Yeah, it's more about rapid fire, rapid projectile speed. Yeah, so we're on the same page. But... You know, I think, I'll just say this, I think magic scales a little better. Just a little better. Oh, I don't have time to do the other thing I wanted to do. That's fine, we have to raid someone. I have to head out for a bit. Let's see who is playing. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's hard to judge the two things because the base game doesn't have progress, really. Like, if I can survive a temporal storm with, you know, 6 stone spears and kill a lot of things with 6 stone spears, kiting them around and lobbing the spears at, you know, like the nightmare drifters and everything. You know, it's hard to judge, right? You know, that kind of progress against this kind of tier system. Who is playing? Vintage Story. Oh boy, I love seeing all the people playing. I love it. Absolutely love it. Who should we raid? Hey, I think this guy's using my magic mod. I'm like, hey, that bar looks familiar above their health. Yeah, we should probably throw it over to them. It's a new person. They're doing the whole VTube thing. You know, it doesn't freak me out as much. Like before, I was looking at them like, I don't, you know, as long as it's not some like big boobed anime character, I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with it. Boop. We shall do the raid. Do the raid. Thanks for the stream and getting us involved. See you in Discord. Yeah, thank you. This is the reason why I stream. And also, I think it would be helpful for people to, you know, actually see the coding process and actually see me kind of struggle bus a little bit sometimes. Give me some ideas. It'd be even better if like people could talk back to me in real time and have a real conversation back and forth, but this is still a good way to do it. We love the struggle bus. Nexus, have a good time. Looking forward to the next stream. Next stream may actually be in a couple hours. Yeah, it's 5:15 here. It's probably going to be about 7:30, so 2.5 hours. No, 2 hours, 15 minutes. Because I still have that third thing to add. I want to make spell ciphers something that you can clear. So that's it. Yep, I'm going. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful time. I will VC you in Discord next time. Yeah, right. I should make a Discord for just supporters too, like a voice chat for them. On the to-do list. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Adios. See you later. Bye.